Fall is in the air and Magnet Cove football season is just around the corner. And that means we here at the Prez Box are here for the first ever episode of this new podcast. And so what we're going to really talk about today is first week's matchup against Gurdon as well as Magnet Cove's standing in the 3A4. And so with me today I have Coach Shane Hartsell, who directs the student broadcast program here at Magnet Cove. And it's just good to be back, Coach, isn't it?
It is, Will. We've kind of waited all summer long, and now we are to that point where it's game week. What else can you say? And Magnet Cove is going to take that trip down to Gurdon on Friday night and play their first regular season ball game. And should be a good night for football. The weather has gotten cooler. It's not 110, right? So that should be a good thing. Looking at Magnet Cove, I kind of looking over some stats from last year. Magnet Cove finished 6-5 overall. Lost in the first round of the playoffs to Boonville. And 4-3 in conference play. The Panthers and Coach Adams has a lot of returning starters this year. He's of course got it all starts with probably the running back, senior.
It doesn't get much better than Angel Velasquez, returning All-State running back, over 1,000 all-purpose yards last year, over 300 alone against Paris last year. That's going to be huge to have back. You have Braxton Ballantyne, right guard, I believe, or
yes,
one of the guard spots. Then you have Tanner returning at center. You have Colton Sultan returning at offensive line and defensive line as well. Braxton's going to be probably, I'd imagine he'd be up the middle, wouldn't he?
Yeah, probably so. I think Braxton, he's been working at left. I do believe left tackle is where he's been working at, and we've got also on the line leading the way is Zane Cardenas. He's also going to anchor a spot, and of course on defense he's going to be playing that Mike linebacker spot. So he's another one to watch out for. Something's going to be interesting is Wilson Ballantyne has graduated and
unfortunately
is in college, and Ethan Ramsey is going to be run the offense there for Coach Dean Adams and the Panthers, and he is going to assume that quarterback role starting the season out.
I mean, I think he's a good fit for the role. I mean, he's a pitcher in baseball, so he's already got the throwing motion down, and he's got the ability to run due to the fact that he's been at wide receiver for the past several years. So, I mean, he's the perfect dual threat quarterback if he can just translate the accuracy on the baseball diamond to the football field, and if he can keep some, let's say, starting quarterback mistakes, like whenever this is your first time being a quarterback, if he can keep those down, and if he can limit turnovers, I think he's going to be a really good option at quarterback. So great upside there with Ethan. I mean, you also got Nehemiah, the other running back spot. You've also got Blaze Crutchfield back at running back. And, I mean, the running back room for Magnet, I think, is going to be the strength this year. I mean, if he can run it on the ground, that opens up everything else. And what do you think, Coach?
Well, I agree with you. It all starts with the run. Of course, Coach Adams, the Panthers have been all about the run the last few years with Coach Adams at the helm. That's kind of his background. And, the old saying, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, that's very true in this offense. And you got to have great backs. Of course, again, Angel Velasquez, the all-state, all-conference running back, tailback, starts with him. And, of course, he has a superior blocker in Nehemiah Norwood. Nehemiah really came on last year as a sophomore and did a great job blocking and opening up holes, and kind of played a a great role for the offense last year, and I look for him to do the same thing this year. And of course, you've got moving up from the junior high, a couple of sophomores. You have Aiden McKinney and of course Canton Dyer are two sophomores that will probably see some action at some point in time. So the running back spot is looking good for the Panthers.
And the one thing I will say about the offense that has me a little bit like we'll wait and see about it's the wide receivers, because looking at the scrimmage against Spring Hill, you do have a few drops against there, as well as a few new faces in the room. I mean, Isaac Tiller came down with a huge catch against Spring Hill. I mean, you have Jaden Mullins going down on basically the one after going up for one over a defensive back. So, I mean, you're set there. It's just kind of limit the drops there, and the wide receiver room will be pretty good. But we'll see how they do under real pressure against Gurdon, which is never really an easy place to play. I mean, I remember when Magnet went down there last time. I was there, and it was a fun environment. It was a good place to play. But their fans were rowdy, and they made their presence known.
Absolutely. I guess the last time we were at Gurdon that I can remember was the year that
Tony kicked the game winning.
Yeah, Tony kicked the game-winning field goal in the remaining less than a minute to go in the game, and kind of put the game out of hand there. Gurdon is an interesting thing. You know, last year they kind of had maybe a down year according to Gurdon standards. You know, they always have a pretty good team and have great athletes and guys that will compete, and so it's going to be interesting to see where they're at as far as their team is concerned. And but traditionally they have been a very sound team over the past few years.
I mean, even when they were down last year, they were still kept it competitive with us at home. I mean, it was 21-14 last year, if I remember correctly, and
right.
I mean, they fight well. They don't go down without a fight, and I mean, I suppose that leads us into the next area for the Magnet Cove team is defense. I mean, defense last year was kind of a concern in most games. It wasn't as much against Gurdon, but I mean, yeah, defense that gave up around 20-something points a game last year, and that probably cost you a few. But really, what do you see on the defense, Coach Hartsell, that has you optimistic about it?
Well, I tell you, I think it starts with your defensive line. You're going to have, of course, Colton Sultan on the anchor in that defensive line. At one of the defensive end spots, you're going to have senior Kyle Henderson. So I see the defensive line, and I see our linebacking core as probably the best it's been in some time overall. You look at from middle linebacker, Mike linebacker, to both the outsides. Nehemiah Norwood's going to play an outside linebacker. Landon Brown, who's a senior, is also going to play an outside linebacker. So I like our front, our front interior as well as our linebacking core. Secondary, I mean, we'll have some experience in secondary. Jaden Mullins, who's a senior this year, he did a great job out at corner last year, along with Ethan Ramsey. Of course, Ethan, is assuming that quarterback role, and I know he'll still probably play defense. So
Calvin McKinney is going to be at cornerback in his second year on the team, so that should be fun to see his progression over the offseason. Calvin
McKinney is another great one, and you were talking about the receiving core. That's another one you can throw out there. I think Calvin's got the ability to catch the football, and
then you have Isaac Tillery out there,
and then
who is exactly what you want out of a cornerback and a wide receiver. He's tall, he's still managing to be relatively fast, and he catches the football really well, and it's good to see that transitioning over. Isaac typically he only played basketball until this year, and now he comes over to football, and he seems to be doing pretty well over there, so I'm excited to see what Isaac does in the first live game of his career for football.
I am too. I'm very thankful, and I know Coach Adams is thankful too, that Isaac came out. Isaac's a great athlete. He hustles. As we know in basketball, we've seen him on the basketball court, and he does the same thing on the football field. Isaac's going to do things right, and I think he's going to prove to be a valuable asset for the Panthers before, when this season starts, and obviously throughout the duration of the season. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's this time of year. Everybody's kind of, you kind of have an idea of what you have, but you really don't know until you actually get out there on the field and line up against someone else. And yes, we've had scrimmages. You're right about that. But we're going to be into a full-fledged game situation with the kicking game and everything going live this coming Friday. So, yeah, it's going to be exciting. And I think you'll see the defenses are usually ahead of the offense. Starting out the first couple of weeks, and then eventually, the offenses will find their rhythm. So we'll just have to see how that plays out as well.
I mean, yeah, you've got that fact, and then also we need to consider special teams, which is not often discussed, but it's very crucial. I mean, you'll have Angel probably taking the kicks this year.
Right. Angel's going to, I think, take the kicks. You got to make special teams. You got to have It hurts a football team if you, for instance, if you do not have good kickoff coverage or punt. When you punt, you've got to have people.
For example.
Right. You got to have people that can go down and make an open field tackle and basically, win the field position battle. You want to try to pin your opponent back as far as you possibly can. So and you want to limit those big plays, and a coach never wants one to see a big play, on special teams, especially from unless we're on the unless they are on the benefit end of it. But kicking off, you got to have good coverage. Kickoff return, you got to be aware of most people today in high school, they like to do that squib kick to the sideline. So you've got to have some people that can catch the ball and that are sure-handed in those positions. And I'm sure we're going to see that here come starting Friday night.
I mean, also, now let's look at the depth. I mean, you also have on the defensive line, as you mentioned, was a position of critical importance. You have Tristan Riggin on the edge, who, from what I remember, is very good at playing football. Like he's a threat. If he can get you beat on the step, he will get in the backfield and bring that quarterback down. You also have coming up from junior high ranks, you have Colton Mabry and Parker Scott, who's going to be, both of those are on the edge as well. I mean, we should have a good edge rush this year.
We really should. I look for us to have a great edge rush, and I look for our defensive tackles. I mean,
Christian McCandless, Brent Hardwick,
right?
Colton Sultan, Braxton Ballantyne.
Sure. Those guys are going to rotate. I think the key early, of course, when you first start the season is you worry about your condition, and of course it's been hot, and it just so happens that this week's been an exceptional week with the cold front coming in, and I think it's really going to play in favor of all the kids come Friday night, with the cold front. Something we really got to take a look at, and of course, nobody can control, but both teams will have to play through it, is the weather and the rain, whether or not rain could definitely play a factor in the ball game as far as footing and field conditions and ball security.
Also have to consider wind that can also desperately affect punts and kicks and stuff like that.
Sure, absolutely it can. It's going to be interesting. There's a lot of factors, to see who can make, I guess, especially the first game, you're going to make mistakes. That's going to happen. It's just who can make the fewest mistakes not make them in the crucial situations, and also I think a key to being successful is winning the turnover battle. You've got to get more takeaways than you give up. So that's going to be a big factor as well.
Now, one last thing we'll discuss about the Magnet Cove team specifically is that I've noticed that there's a lot of confidence coming out of the football guys this year. I mean, they're just oozing confidence. They're 100% confident that they think they can win this conference. They are confident they can win the 3A4. What do you think that does for the team, having confidence?
Well, it does a lot. I mean, I agree with you. This team is, they are confident. They do have a lot of seniors. They've got a lot of players that have had at least 2 years, 3 years of experience in some cases. So there's been a lot of football played by this senior group together. And so it does. It helps you. It puts you in a good spot. You feel confident, having that confidence that, hey, even when things are not going our way, we got to play for the next play. We got to, wait for the next play. And if something bad happens, we got to have a short memory and go back and try to limit our mistakes and go back. And I really think this team is going to be able to do that this year. They like you said, they just show a great amount of confidence and in the way they carry themselves, both on the field and off the field as well. And I really look forward to seeing these guys get out on the field Friday night and finally put that on display in a true game situation.
I mean, now let's move on to the 3A4 against the teams you're actually going to have to play. I mean, looking at this conference, it's some of the most wide open I've ever seen it. I mean, you have Gwen Rose, who should win the conference, but if we're just looking at last year,
right,
for instance, they didn't exactly put it away against Magnet Cove early. They didn't exactly put it away against Paris early. I mean, they pulled away later in the game, much like Magnet did, but I mean, you have a Gwen Rose team who, while not weak at all, I'm not going to imply that, is certainly not as good as they have been known to be. So you kind of have a number one that should be there, and then you have Perryville, who is a good team, but I mean they lost all their experience last year. They had a huge senior class participating in their team, and then you have Jessieville, who, while they've not lost as much as say Perryville has, they've lost some pieces as well as they have a new coach here. So can you have the remaining pieces you have work into new system? You have a Paris team who is supposed to be really out there and really ready, which I can see from last year. I mean,
sure, their junior high was Paris. You mentioned that. Their junior high was really good, and I think that's going to help them on the varsity level this year, coming up with those guys coming up from the 9th grade. Absolutely, it's going to help them. This conference, there's a lot of unknowns. I think it's wide open. I think you said, like, you've got Glen Rose and Perryville, and I think Magnet is definitely in that conversation as well.
You also have to consider that Danville's supposed to be not necessarily blow down the doors good, but better than they have been. Right.
So, I mean, here's the thing. On any given Friday night, if you don't play your best, and you go in there and you commit, a lot of turnovers and give the ball up, you can put yourself in a bad position, and that's what you don't want to do. And I know Coach Adams prides himself, and the Panthers do, and taking care of the football, making sure that they do the little things right and get those going. And I really see the Panthers having a great year, barring no major injuries, of course. And so it's going to be interesting. I'm excited about how this conference looks for this upcoming season. Of course, we have Gurdon this coming week, and I think that's one thing you can't. These boys are focused just on Gurdon. That's all they need to be focused on right now is the game in front of them. And I think if they can keep that kind of attitude, that will help tremendously with being successful this season.
I mean, like, I don't want to give a ranking, but, like, I know I'm going to, but, like, that's what I'm going to do next. But it's like, I don't want to give a ranking, and these are not going to be concrete. This is bound to change. This conference is way too wide open. But if I had to give a ranking, I'd say Glen Rose is number one. I mean, they just have the most reliable team out there. I think they win most of the time if you were going to do simulations of this. I mean, I think
on paper, they're
the favorite.
Right. And I think, Perryville, Perryville's still Perryville. And even though they lost a lot of players, seniors last year,
they're good.
They're good. They're a great team. They've built some tradition. I definitely think, again, Magnet is in that conversation as well.
Paris is most certainly in the conversation.
Right. Paris is there. That may be, Paris may be one of those surprise teams this year that we look at and go, you know what? That team is
they're the dark horse for this conference.
They're going to be
the dark horse.
They're going to be a good team, and they have definitely been building something there. So it's going to be interesting to see. Of course, let's see, week 2, the next week, and Magnet starts both games on the road. We go to Gurdon this Friday.
Go to Fordyce.
And then we go to then we turn around and go to Fordyce. That's
Fordyce.
Fordyce is Fordyce. Fordyce is a tough place to play. They're coming off a semifinal appearance, lost to Bismarck at Bismarck in the semis. Bismarck went on to play in the state championship. So, they're a good team too with a lot of tradition. So that should be these first 3
weeks are going to decide what kind of team we have here at Magnet.
Exactly. By the time we get, and I think that's what you look at is, they're going to see, hey, what kind of team do we really have when you get through these 3 weeks? It's going to really tell the tale before we open up conference play.
I mean, I think if you're going to finish off those rankings, I think it's Glen Rose 1. I think you have Perryville at number 2 simply because, like, while they lost a few players, they did have some good players, as you mentioned. I think Magnet Cove and Paris are tied for number 3. I mean, they had the best game of Magnet Cove season, like, entertainment-wise last year was at Paris. You go to Magnet this year. Magnet lost a few players. Paris lost a few players. It's at Magnet. So I think that's going to be Magnet Cove's most important game. That's just my prediction for right now. But as for the rankings, that's tied for number 3. I think Jessieville's number 5. And Jessieville has been, intrigued because Jessieville could be really good because they haven't lost as much as Perryville did. And Jessieville's still Jessieville. They're not necessarily, the greatest team in 3A4, but they certainly have a tradition there. They have a proud tradition. They
absolutely
do fight you tooth and nail for every yard. And I just think you can't rank them any lower than that. You have Danville coming at number 6 off of what should be a very much improved Danville team this next year. I think you have Cutter's high-flying offense puts them at number 7. Cutter's going to have a very good offense. They might not have the best offense in the conference, but their offense is going to be really good, especially with the junior high guys they have coming up.
Right.
I saw their junior high team last year. They were good.
Yeah. Coach Finley and his staff does a great job out at Cutter. They like to throw the ball around the field a lot, and of course they're able to do so and do it pretty well. It should be interesting. Like you just mentioned about Jessieville, I guess they're the biggest question. Nobody really knows.
They're the wild card.
They're kind of the biggest unknown, I guess you would say, in the conference. But not saying that they're not going to be successful because they
could walk
they're
up here
always
and be the number 2 seed.
And they very well could be. Jessieville, has always had a great tradition, winning tradition, has always played hard-nosed football. They will get after you, and like you said, they're going to fight for every yard and inch they can get. So that's just the Jessieville way.
And then you have two Rivers rounding out the list. I mean, and I guess that's just really the conference. I mean, it's wide open. Anyone can go anywhere. I think, like, no team is really out of it this year.
Right. Exactly. Well, I think, come Friday night, we're going to maybe answer a few of these questions, as far as where the teams are at. We'll see what Magnet can do offensively and defensively, and same with Gurdon, and kind of get an idea or a feel, like you said, by week 3, after we go to Fordyce and then come back for our home opener, which is week 3 will be the backyard brawl here at.
Always a fun game.
Always a fun game. Always. Coach Barrett, both Coach Barretts, Coach Vic and Coach Keith Barrett at Poen do a great job, and their staff.
Colt Barrett taking snaps this year,
yes.
Quarterback, All-State. I mean,
right. Colt is a great athlete, great young man, smart. Has a football pedigree from a coaching family. So yes, they'll be ready to play. You can believe that. So should be interesting though. Starting this coming Friday.
I mean, then going down the rest of the schedule, you have like a bye week. Then you go get Jessieville at home. Then you go to Gwen Rose, and then I believe you go to Two Rivers, and then you go play Danville at home.
Right.
Cutter on the road, and then you cap it off with Perryville at home.
At home, right. So that kind of sums up
slate.
That's a slate. So a lot of things will be decided, like you said, in these first 3 weeks are going to determine a lot as far as we can gauge, what type of football team we have here at Magnet, and I think people are going to be. Of course, they're excited. It's football season. Hey, we're just ready to get out and get underneath those Friday night lights, and so come on out, support these guys. They will travel down to Gurdon, which is about 45 minutes to an hour down the road, down I-30 to the west there. So come on out and support these senior high varsity Panthers as they travel down to Gurdon for their home opener, and hopefully they can bring back a road win for their first victory of the 2025 campaign.
I mean, yeah, it's certainly going to be interesting, which I guess perfectly leads us into our games of the weekend. Let's start with the 7A versus 6A matchup. I mean, game of the state. Everyone in the state knows it. You got Benton Bryant at Bryant for the Benton for the first time in forever. It's at a school,
right? Not
in the War Memorial Stadium that it almost always is. And I mean, this is always a good game. It recently has become a good game after the coaching change at Bryant. But I mean, you've got to think Bryant still is able to pull it out. Benton will play good. Don't hear me say Benton will not play good. Benton will play their hearts out, and I mean, if they have someone like Braylon Russell, like a Braylon Russell type player, step up, I think they could beat Bryant, because I was there when Braylon Russell was playing at Benton, and he kept that game close.
Right. Benton is going to be a good football team for sure.
Easily top 10 in the state.
Oh yeah, no doubt. They're a good. They're solid offensively, defensively. Coach Harris and his staff does a wonderful job at Benton. Of course, it being the annual Salt Bowl, it's going to be played at Benton, which, like you said, that's kind of a unique thing. And I like that. I like it being played at each team's home stadium.
Kind of gives you PA versus Little Rock Christian Academy vibes.
Right, exactly. So that's what you want. It's a good time for all those to get out, and so there won't be Saline County will be rocking come Friday night. So and I say Friday night. In the past it's been on Saturday.
Yeah.
So
on the undefined date.
Right, on the undefined date. So we shall see here what that one brings. There's going to be some good matchups, good week one matchups.
Yeah, if I had to predict that, I guess Bryant would win narrowly. Like I'd say under 2 touchdowns, but I think Bryant wins.
Yeah, Bryant's still Bryant. They're still a great team. I think Benton's going to make it very close. I really do. They're a solid football team. So you just, unless there's the X factor, which could be a turnover, a special teams play, or something like that. You never know if they can keep it close. Who knows what can happen? That's why they play the game.
Yeah, sticking in 7A for a second. We have a really good in-state versus out-of-state matchup coming in here. Bentonville versus Tulsa Union.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy, I love having a dad that's from Oklahoma, because I know about Tulsa Union. They are easily one of, if not the best teams in the state of Oklahoma consistently. They're in their equivalent of 7A, I believe.
Right.
And Tulsa, I've seen their stadium before from a distance. It's nice. But Tulsa Union just typically is a good football team in the state of Oklahoma, typically one of the best. And my dad would know. He went to Muskogee, so his team had to play him a lot. But
right.
I believe they're going to Bentonville. Is that right?
That is correct. Yes, they will be playing in Bentonville, from my understanding, looking at the schedule.
And oh my goodness, Bentonville isn't a slouch team either. They're easily top 10, top 15 in the state of Arkansas. So that's going to be a game. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I definitely think Tulsa Union is definitely, they're one of the major powerhouses there in Oklahoma, in their area. And they come to Bentonville, and Bentonville they are ranked in the in the top. I know in the top 25. I'm trying to think. I know that they may be in the top. I believe they're in the top 10 in the state of Arkansas. So should be a good matchup. I think it's going to come down to
who can dominate.
Yeah, who can exactly, who can execute.
Field position, time of possession,
field position, limit your turnovers. It's like from 7A level to 2A level. Here's the deal. This first game is who can make the fewest mistakes and execute and take advantage of if they get a turnover or two to help their team, kind of pull ahead. So, like I said, the first week one's always a mystery, and generally there'll be a lot of penalties, but the most improvement is usually done after week one going into week two for offensively. Coaches kind of see what they have and are able to make adjustments accordingly. So,
all right, moving down now to the 4A, we have an excellent matchup between the local area Malvern Leopards going to Jacksonville to play a game there. That's going to be fun. Jacksonville is higher rated team. I believe they're 5A. And
yes, they are.
You got Malvern going there. Malvern's supposed to be one of the best teams in the 4A. You've just got two great teams going at it there. I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, that ought to be a great game. That ought to be a shootout. Malvern, of course, has got a great team. They're very athletic. Got great skill position players, as well as Jacksonville's going to have the same. it should prove to be a interesting game. I see that one is going to be a toss-up. It really, if both teams execute like they can, it's going to be a matter of maybe who has the ball last exactly, and is in a position to score. So that's what it may come down to, provided there's not a lot of turnovers or anything of that nature. So, but yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Sticking in the 4A, I mean, you got Bauxite Glenrose.
Yes.
I mean, you got fireworks ahead of that game. I mean, last year's game was pretty good, but Glenrose, one of the best teams, if not the best, or, well, not going to say that, but one of the best teams in 3A consistently. Right. And you got Bauxite, who's got a few good players, including, I believe, a 4-star lineman on their team this year. But, I mean, that's just going to be such a fun game. And I know a guy that goes to Bauxite. He's in my Boy Scout troop, and they don't like each other. I mean, it's not necessarily a rivalry, but it's like he made it clear, neither side likes each other.
Right.
I mean, you've got that building up into maybe a budding rivalry there. I mean, what do you make of it?
I agree with you there too. I think both teams, even though Bauxite is a classification above Glenrose, those two teams, they play each other extremely tough. Both teams are kind of hard-nosed, hard-hitting teams, and both they kind of take on the persona of both of their coaches, and they're both going to be good teams. And I think both of them have the potential to be top contenders within their conference. So, and make the playoffs this year. So, it's going to be a great game. For sure. And
if Glenrose got to win, they got to go to the pit, which is just that's just not a place that typically you go out of with a win.
Right. It is a tough place to play. Very difficult there to play, and
I don't even think if Arkadelphia went down there, they could have an easy win there.
No, there's nothing there is no gimmies when you go to Bauxite to the pit. So absolutely not. It's going to be. It's going to be a full out, 48 minutes of, they're going to give you everything they've got. So that goes back to their tradition from the past years, but Glenrose, they're fighters as well. They're going to get after you, and so that should be a good matchup come week 1.
Yeah, and then, we get to cap off the show with this. Magnet Cove going down to Gurdon. We've talked Magnet Cove to death. We've talked about Gurdon. It's just really who gets, what do you think decides it?
Well, the thing I think that may decide this, especially with it being early in the season, again, who makes the fewest mistakes, who wins in the trenches, and I'm talking offensive and defensive lines, who can stop the other team, and then who can basically enforce their will on the other team offensively and move the ball. That's what Magnet's looking to do. Is they're gonna run it straight at you, and here it is. Here, Coach Adams is kind of like, here it is, stop us. That's kind of his mantra, I guess you would say. So, Gurdon, again.
Great team.
Good team. Have had great teams. And one thing that Gurdon has been known for in the past is they make some big plays. They do. They're going to make some big plays. And so, if you're Magnet Cove, you got to limit those big plays and then try to play ball control and then play the field position game. So it should be a good one.
Here's my take on it. I think Magnet Cove will probably have the experience edge on the lines there. So I think if you can win in the trenches, I think if Angel has a good game on the ground, and I think if your secondary can limit the passing yards, which was one of the things that hurt Magnet last year, I think that you probably have yourself a Magnet win there. If you don't, we'll see.
Absolutely. I agree, Will. And should be an exciting season. Finally, it's here. We get to quit talking and play. Actually, get to go play the game, and that's what all the fans are ready to do.
I mean, as you said, Hartsell, talking season's over. We're about to get into shoulder pads and helmets and start smacking the other side. So we'll leave you there from the Prez box here at Magnet Cove. Pleasure for you to join us this week, and go Panthers.
Do you have some land you need cleared to build on? Call Hartsell Farms and Excavating. Do you need some excavation done on your property? Call Hartsell's Farms and Excavating. Hartsell's Farms and Excavating, LLC, is a veteran-owned and operated company with 20-plus years of experience in the construction business. Owner Vernon Hartsell will be happy to see how he and his crew can meet your needs. Free estimates can be given by calling number 870-210-0204. Again, that number is 870-210-0204. Thank you for your business.